I'm still going around the world on a motorbike by myself.
Introductory song. Make it up as I go. This is extremely embarrassing for me. So I'm just going to say that I'm going around the world on a motorbike.
I'm going to ride something like 30,000 miles in I don't know how many days through a lot of different countries. Across Australia from Sydney to Perth, then from South Africa up through to North Africa into Egypt, and then taking the back road round through Eastern Europe, stopping at several places, and eventually landing up in Plymouth, England. I'll be bringing cameras. These ones. I'll be going on my own, so there won't be a cameraman. Everything will be filmed by me. There will also be no support vehicles. I'll be travelling around the world, linking up with myself at the borders, but really, the motorcycle will be on its own. Since the last episode, many things have happened, and if you haven't seen it, it's at the top of your screen now. So click it. Thanks, strange commentary narrator person, and yes, lots of things have happened. Like this. The bike is finally fully finished and ready to go. There's nothing left to be done, so let's talk about that. But first, I'm going to talk about all the lovely things that I'm going to be taking with me on this trip. So let's talk about that first. Now first, on the list of things, are these things. Starting with this. This is a helmet. This is to hopefully protect my head in the event that I go barreling down the road into hard objects. And I have bought this one in particular, not because I'm a brand whore, but simply because it fits my head best. And if you're buying a helmet because of the brand, then you're doing it wrong. What you might also notice is this weird little tumour on the side of it. And that's a camera. Now, full disclosure here, Senna actually gave me this camera for free. Because I'm a greedy little boy and I asked them for one. However, this is the exact camera I would have bought had they not given me one. Now, seeing as my YouTube channel is a little bit strange and I don't have many followers, I'm not that familiar with how sponsorships work. My expectations are that I have to say a lot of nice things from a script in order to get free items. But this was not the case. I specifically asked what they wanted me to do in return, and they said nothing and to just enjoy the trip. So thank you, Senna. Now the reason I chose this camera was because it's not a typical dash cam style camera that you see from everyone else that does the Bluetooth and all these hands-free things. That's not really what I'm looking for. What I wanted was something that I could choose when and where to record and turn it on and off whenever I wanted to. And all you do is it's got this weird little foreskin thing. If I want to start recording, slide the foreskin forwards. And when I stop recording, I slide the foreskin backwards. If you're American or Jewish, you're probably not familiar with this. Now that's perfect for me because I don't want to record everything, and I'm sure I'm going to forget at some point to charge my camera. Plus, all these constantly recording cameras tend to only last a few hours. Whereas this one can potentially go for the whole trip without needing a charge, if I just do small segments. Other things I got are nice boots to stop my ankles falling off. Gloves for appendages with mysterious little touchscreen fingers. And the last one was a petrol cooker, because I don't really want to carry around compressed gas with me, and it means that if I do need fuel, I can just tip it out of the bike, or vice versa. And obviously the fuel's in this weird little container. Let's talk about bike things. Now the cooking stuff we just talked about is going to go in these. And aside from that, I've got a tent and an inflatable mattress. I can fit the tent in like that so everything's waterproof. So this is the part of the video when Captain Hindsight is going to tell me that I was stupid for not changing the clutch. But here's my logic behind it. So first, you take off the starter motor. And then you have access to your clutch inside there, which you can probably barely see. Now as you can see, that little rubber bit in the middle is the clutch plate. And that's the thickness that you have to worry about if you have any concerns about your clutch starting to slip. Now luckily these discs aren't exactly concentric and their diameters differ slightly, which means that you can measure the gap there. And apparently the service limit on this one is 4.1 millimeters. And I can comfortably get a 5.5mm Allen key in there. So with that logic, hopefully it won't die. Now there is one more thing you might notice. I'm not taking a camp chair with me. This is because on my last camping trip with the bike, I had a revelation. And here it is. So it's probably a good idea to record this bit from the helmet camera, because then it means I can point at lots of different things and you can see exactly what I mean. And the first thing I'm going to start with are the highway pegs. Now these are AliExpress specials, and as you can see they don't exactly fit perfectly. The only bit that I could get it to fit on was this weird little radius bit. However, even though this is an accidental thing, it's the most perfect position for them. Here's why. Because it's the most comfortable thing imaginable. So next on the list is the stuff you've already seen from before, from the last episode. And this is because of the new suspension. Now this is all electronically adjusted, and I've had to get rid of my bypass switch to fit this thing. And the switch is underneath, so if I do want to switch it on, I have to reach underneath, which isn't ideal. But this leads on nicely to the next bit. All this Touratech expensive suspension gubbins. So with the powers of video editing, we can go back in time to when I fitted this. Now, as far as things that are going to go on the bike for this trip, this is the last couple of boxes of stuff that I'm going to be putting on it. But obviously I can't do much when it's in a box. So far they have gone to the effort of giving me a $2 screwdriver to go with it. That's always a plus, as well as a mysterious washer. And this is what $6,500 gets you in terms of motorbike suspension. Now I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't think it was worth it, so let's hope that it's as good as they say it is. And I've spoken to a load of their reps and stuff over the time, saying what I'm going to be carrying, where I'm going to be going, and they've put some different springs in that to cope with my body weight as well as what I'll be carrying. So with any luck it'll make the bike handle really nicely compared to what it was before. Now since that blast from the past, I've had a few gripes with this suspension setup. Firstly is because this is an uprated spring, it's obviously a bit fatter. And what happens is when there's no weight on the front wheel, there is actually contact between the alternator belt cover and the spring. The other thing is this wire here is not really shielded in any particular way, so I predict this might get damaged at some point. Now if you compare that to the original shock, you can see that all the wire is correctly routed up to here to an almost manifold thing, which is then received from the top of the shock, and everything works nicely. But the Touratech doesn't have this. Now I contacted them about it and they've ghosted me, so they seem to be one of those companies that disappear once they've got your money. So now that you know everything and you've seen what I'm taking with me, I need to get information things for myself. So what I've decided to do, even though I know they're not designed specifically for this, is talk to all the embassies about finding information about the countries I'm going to. The other thing is sorting out this thing. That's a carnet de passage. I'm sure my pronunciation is garbled. However, it's a carnet de passage for other people. And the last one is visas, because without them, you don't get many places. So let's talk about the first one, starting with the South African Embassy.
One eternity later.
High Commission, good afternoon.
Hey, I was wondering if you could help me with a weird question. I'm planning on riding a motorbike from Africa to, Cape Town up to Egypt. And I was wondering if I could come in and just talk to someone about, increasing my chances of survival, basically.
Okay, you have to send an email
Right.
to info
Yep.
.canberra.
Yep. So as it would happen, all they can do is tell you to send an email using their phone number. Seriously, why is Super Wog on Netflix? What has the world come to? So I've decided to start recording this a good distance away from where I live, so that weirdos can't find me. Now the plan is I'm going to go to Canberra and visit all the embassies in a single day. And if the Google reviews are anything to go by, this could be very, very interesting. Now just some foreshadowing, I'm very well aware that embassies don't have the role of giving out tourist information, but I'm hoping that some people who work there might be willing to impart some of their knowledge. So let's find out in a few hours' time. So what I'm going to do is camp somewhere tonight. I haven't decided where, haven't really looked at a map of Canberra or anything, so I have no idea what's around. But this is hopefully going to be the same sort of distances and whatevers that I would expect to do on a daily basis once I start going on this escapade. Anyway, I've got my Netflix on, so I'm not going to get bored while I'm riding. And see you in Canberra. Fucking barking at me. So welcome to Canberra. As you can see, it's devolved into a delightful day. It's almost pointless riding to England, seeing as I'm already pretty much there. And I've decided on this trip that I am not going to wear jeans, because all they do when I'm riding this bike is try to put my tea bag up my Wheato. So all I'm doing now is trying to find the South African High Commission. And with any luck, I'll be able to go in there, have a happy conversation with them, and come out knowing everything I'm supposed to know about going to their place. But that's the optimistic side of me. And there we go. Hello, I was just wondering if it's possible to drop in and have a chat quickly, because I'm planning on travelling. Is this something you guys would be able to help me with?
No, send an email.
Oh, okay. Well, are you very busy?
No, but we won't talk to you unless you've sent us an email.
I've tried sending emails, they don't get replied to.
Send another email. Send another email. Send another. We cannot help you.
Hopeless. So that went exactly as expected. Turns out Google reviews aren't entirely nonsense. So the South African embassy operates entirely by emails that they don't reply to. These people are being paid for what exactly, I do not know. Anyway, on to Zimbabwe. Oh, what a complete 180 that turned out to be. They are absolutely fantastic in there. So what they've done is they've said that they're going to be able to help with border entries and things like that. They gave me a list of places I can visit, including their sort of, personal favourites, places to avoid, things to avoid. So there's a lot to think about after that visit, which is excellent. So for now, I'm gonna send them an email. They asked me to send them an email as well, obviously, but this time they're going to be able to reply with all the links to the places that they suggest I should go. Anyway, on to the next country. Anyway, I think that's enough of chasing embassies and annoying people with my ridiculous questionings. So I'm going to go and find a very moist campsite.